not going to run outdoor, and you're going to change everything. So from now on, you're going to realize you're a talented runner, and you can win things, but you're not that talented. You have to put the work in. You have to put the base in. So we drove to the airport and he said, you're going to win the NCAA cross-country championships in Ames, Iowa. Now it's March, and the Ames, Iowa NCAA cross-country championships are in November. I don't know if we win the NCAAs. He says, you'll win the NCAAs, but you have to promise me that you're going to listen to me and me only, and you're going to start training tomorrow. We're not going to do outdoor, you're going to train, and you're going to do 6 months of base work, and you're going to do your switch into specific cross-country work, and you're going to get the NCAAs, and you're going to win. I was like, this is big time goal setting. It's a bit of pressure, but it's a great kind of coach-athlete moment that can happen at any time. It happened for me when I was 22 years old, but it can happen when you're 15 or when you're a freshman in high school or a senior in high school. You sit down with your coach, you pick a goal, and you work to that goal. We had a great ride doing it because we worked at it. We got the plan, we got the schedule, we did the training. I put the base work in. I got up in the mornings in the summer and did the 12-mile morning runs at 7 a.m. before it gets too warm. Went to the gym, did the core work, planks, all that stuff that, you know, it sucks. You don't want to do planks after you've just done a hard 12-mile run, but it works. It strengthens your core. Injuries start to go away. Got to the fall, the team came back, everyone was in good shape. We worked through the fall, picking off the targets, winning all the races. Got to NCAA championships in Ames, Iowa. Sat down with Ray the night before and he said, remember we talked, that's a long time ago, it's last March. He said, well, no matter what happens tomorrow, we've done all the work. We did, we set out on a goal, we set on a path. We got here, let's see what happens tomorrow. So we wake up next day and it's the NCAA championships, and it's the coldest NCAA championships in the history of NCAA championships. It's freezing. I mean, it's unbearable cold. It's that cold that you probably only experience in Maine, I don't know. But it's cut your face open cold. So we're throwing olive oil on our skin before the race. I mean, it's torturous. And I don't know, were you there?
I was there.
Did you find it very cold as someone from Maine?
It was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it was torturous. You know,
it was 19 below with a wind chill.
So, I mean, they haven't gone back. Well, they did go back to Iowa one year when David Ritzenheim won, but it was freaky cold. I mean, it's not typically that bad. So I felt like things are starting to align, you know, in that part of the right, because it was a great Kenyan, David Kamani, who has since passed away. And, you know, great runner, but he was Kenyan. He was not liking the cold. And then there was another Kenyan who was ranked for Farley Dixon University. Same again, you know, he just looked like he didn't want to be there. And then there was a few guys like George Torres, myself, Franklin Sanchez. You know, we were a little bit more hungry for it. And yeah, long and the short of it is I ended up winning the race. So it was a great moment.
It was a come from behind win. It was.
Yeah, we had a bit of. I did a lot of the leading in the race, and it was very, very windy and very, very cold. And I was wearing a singlet with a very cheap, not technical cotton long sleeve underneath that I bought at Walmart the night before the race, because, you know, we were pretty old school at Providence College, and we didn't have a big contract with Nike or one of the schools. You know, we got some shoes off Reebok, but we didn't get much. So we didn't realize it was going to be this cold, and the olive oil wasn't going to cut it, so we went to Walmart and we bought like very, very low budget wool gloves, and we bought long sleeve, it might have been polypropylene, I don't know, but it was very, very, very cheap, and it didn't do anything for us. But so I ended up getting my arms, I couldn't barely move my arms. And we were coming up a hill with about 2K to go, and the breakaway, you know, Kamani and Steve Nondiecki, George Torres and Franklin. And it just got a little jump on me, and the four of them broke away and I was in behind. And another lesson, you know, you may think you've kind of maxed out in racing, you think, you know, I'm cooked, it's can't go any quicker. Of course you can go quicker, it's just a case of getting hardening up, you know, getting tough and getting after. And I let a little gap develop, but it's amazing with the realization when something's the last time you're ever going to do it, that was the last time I was ever going to run an NCAA cross-country championships, because I was graduating from Providence College, so I was like, this can't happen, I can't finish 5th. And dug in and managed to pull out the win with a fast quarter mile, and kind of forgot about the pain and the suffering and everything else, and won the race. But it was for me, it will always go down as not winning NCAA championships. The team at Providence College, we finished 3rd as well, which was a huge accomplishment for such a small school to finish among Arkansas, Colorado, and Stanford. To slot in there was pretty nice, but I wasn't winning a race, because few people win races, but many people run races, and many teams run state championships and so on and so forth, and very few people are going to win. Most of you guys, one of you may win a state championships, or go on and compete at Foot Locker, but ultimately to get to that very pinnacle, it takes a lot of luck. And I was lucky. I got some great weather for me, because on a hot day I wouldn't have beat David Conley had it been in South Carolina like it was 2 years before, when it was 80 degrees and it was running cross country, and it was like on a manicured golf course. This is not cross country, this is ridiculous. This is, running in the sun. So you need a bit of luck. But the lesson to be learned was that I sat down with my coach and I set a goal, and we worked to the goal together, taking off the points along the way of what's important. And it worked out really well for us, it worked out really well for the team. And ever since then, well, that's always been my philosophy: what's the goal, and how can we attain the goal, how can we get to the goal, and give it the best shot we can. So you guys, if it's a main state championship, so it's just a local championships, class championships, I don't know what the goal is, but you have to listen to your coach. You have to all be on the same page and all believe in what your goal is and what you're trying to do. Many years I went by and I never really believed in a goal. I just kind of went along as I felt fit, and I took time off and I felt I needed it. But everything changed when you really set a goal and really believe in yourself and believe in the team and you're going for it. And upon graduation from college, that disappears and you miss it so much. And you wish you were back in high school so you could do it all again, or you could just do things so differently if you could go back to high school. Unfortunately, you can't. So I was lucky enough to graduate and do well and have some All-American honors and experience racing against some guys that right now are some of the best runners in the world. So upon graduation, I thought the next thing is the Olympics, right? Because if I won the collegiate championships, logically, the guys that won before me have all gone to the Olympics. Goucher, Metka, Flesky. So, surely I'm going to go now, and it's going to be my day in the sun for Athens. So I had a 4-year plan that, everything's going to go right and I'm going to be in Athens. So I went back to the old mistakes again. I suddenly stopped really listening to Ray, and I started reading the internet. And I started reading what other people were doing, and what, the guys that were, in the West Coast were doing, and what the Oregon guys were doing, or what was going on there at the farm team at Stanford. It's as simple as finding out what your neighboring high school is doing. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean it's right. Sometimes grass is always greener, right? On the other side, you think, I'm doing 80 miles a week, I'm only doing 6-mile tempo runs, whereas so-and-so is doing 12-mile tempo runs. I do 8 times a long gradual hill, so-and-so does 12 times a very, very steep hill. So I kept questioning Ray, questioning what I was doing. And I bumped up the mileage, too much core work. Didn't want to say it in front of because it was a great presentation, but you can overdo the core work, you can overdo the stretching. So I was a full-time athlete, so I was sitting around all day and I was stretching, and every 5 minutes I would watch a show and the commercial breaks and started doing some core work. I ended up getting myself in all sorts of trouble, and got a very significant stress fracture on my back that put me out for a year. And I went from being on the brink of making the Irish Olympic team to watching the Olympics with a cast around my lower back. And since then, I've developed all sorts of